that I introduce to you the Salutatorian for the class of 2012 to present her address, Miss Rachel Redding.
Ms. Bishop, Dr. Bezanson, Mr. Chapman, teachers, family, students, we did it. When we came here in August of 2008, being the first graduating class of Scottsdale Preparatory Academy seemed really far off in the future. But here we are 4 years later, the class of 2012. We began with 50 classmates, and now 18 of us are left. And for 7 hours a day, 5 days a week, for 4 years we've been together. I can't stand here and say that every moment of it was easy and that we always got along. But I can stand here and confidently say that over the course of this time that we've had together, we've touched each other's lives more than we can ever imagine. And as I reflect on our years together, I think of some very important lessons that we learned. We learned the Sharpie label warning is nothing to scoff at. We learned that surviving a 20-page paper and defending it to a panel is not an impossible task, even though we thought it was. And we did learn that Job gets everything back and Bingley was a good man after all. But memory's a funny thing. With all the memories I have, my favorite memory of our class was our last night in DC at the Lincoln Memorial. And it struck me because for the first time, nobody was goofing off, nobody was conversing, we weren't laughing and we weren't worried. We weren't thinking of what we had to do the next day, what paper we had to write, what our next line was, or anything like that. Everybody was calm and quiet, transparent and real. And it was one of those moments that I realized touched my heart more than it touched my brain. I realized that what I remember most about our time at Scottsdale Preparatory Academy are not specific events or individual moments, but they're a culmination of feelings. And it's those feelings that will unify us, and those feelings that will keep us connected even though we move on. Being the first class, we have the challenges of working through the changes and the privilege of growing in the experience that go along with being the first graduating class of any school. We've changed classrooms, combined classes, changed teachers, and moved into a beautiful new building. And looking back on our Humane Letters classes, I can confidently say that Aristotle was all of our favorite authors. And I think he said it best when he said, "The roots of education are bitter, but the fruit is sweet." And that fruit has moved us in a way that we didn't think possible. Humane Letters moved us to vocalize our thoughts on word and on paper. Math and science moved us to endure as we erased, rewrote, rethought, and started over again. Fine arts moved us to tap into the creativity that we never thought we'd be able to have. And our language classes showed us the importance of being patient with ourselves in any endeavor, even if that endeavor was in a song or in a dance. Finally, our senior trip moved us across the country and moved us closer to each other. But as of tonight, we physically move away from each other for the first time. We've been accustomed to enduring the changes together, and now those changes are taking us on our separate journeys. We're moving hard, and it's going to be hard, and it's going to be different, but I'm really excited, and I think we all are. And as the first class to graduate, we've heard the phrase truth, beauty, goodness since we walked through the doors 4 years ago. But whether we realize it or not, the meaning of each word is ingrained within the way that we think and the way that we act. We've been challenged to realize that beauty is not simply in the eye of the beholder, but in the attitude of the beholder. And that truth can be found when we all work together to find the answer. And goodness is cultivated not through being right, but through the journey it takes to find the answer. We leave that legacy behind us as we move on. And I've come to realize that being great-hearted is not measured in where we currently stand, but it's measured in the journey we take to travel there. And as we continue to move forward with our lives, we have to realize and recognize that we would never be here without the faculty's love, support, and preparation, and our family's love, support, and preparation, and finally through our relationships that we've built with each other. And we've been prepared together, and let's take that preparation and go on our separate journeys. Thank you so much.